Have you ever felt utterly alone, even in a crowded room? Or perhaps you've hung in a void, speaking only to your own shadow. This story is for you. Meet Elara, a young woman in a bustling city, yet isolated by an invisible wall. Her loneliness wasn't about being physically alone, but a deep ache of feeling unseen, unheard. She yearned for genuine connection, but the fear of being truly known, then rejected, paralyzed her. She often watched others, envying their easy bonds, convincing herself it was safer to be alone. This self-imposed solitude became her prison, fueling a quiet fear. If anyone truly saw her, they wouldn't like what they found. The turning point was subtle. One rainy afternoon at her usual cafe, Elara saw an elderly woman, Mrs. Gable, struggling with the door. Without thinking, Elara held it open. Mrs. Gable, with a warm, crinkled smile, thanked her genuinely. "People don't often do that anymore," she said, her eyes twinkling. It was a fleeting, simple connection, but the pure human warmth resonated deeply. For the first time, Elara didn't dismiss such an interaction. A tiny spark ignited. Could genuine connection exist for her? That evening, Mrs. Gable's smile lingered. Elara began to question her ingrained negative thoughts like, "I'm invisible," or "my efforts don't matter." Mrs. Gable's gratitude contradicted them. This was the start of a new way of thinking. She realized her perceived isolation was often a reflection of her own withdrawal. Encouraged, Elara took small, hesitant steps. She smiled at strangers, initiated brief conversations. She joined a book club. There were awkward moments, but she pushed through. To her surprise, people listened. She learned that vulnerability, though terrifying, opened the door to genuine connection. By allowing herself to be seen, she invited others in. As Elara engaged, a profound shift occurred. She realized loneliness wasn't a flaw, but a feeling that could be understood and transformed. She found an inner strength, the courage to reach out despite her fears. Her shadow of isolation began to shrink, replaced by a growing light within. She understood that true belonging wasn't about constant company, but cultivating a deep connection to herself first, then extending it outward. Her journey taught her to navigate loneliness, knowing she carried within her the capacity for love and self-compassion. She found her voice, the quiet confidence to express her true self, knowing she was worthy. Elara's journey reminds us that loneliness, though painful, can be a catalyst for self-discovery and growth. It shows us that by gently challenging our negative thoughts and taking consistent small steps toward connection, we can rebuild bridges to belonging. The path from isolation is built with the courage of vulnerability and the belief that you too are worthy of connection. Remember, the shadow of loneliness often exists only where we don't allow the light of connection to reach. Find your voice, extend your hand, and watch as the echoes of loneliness transform into the symphony of belonging. You are not alone, and you are capable of finding your way back to connection.